The average American will earn approximately $2.7 million over the course of their working life. The average retirement balance at age 65 is $87,000. That means somewhere along the way, $2.6 million quietly disappeared. It didn't go to taxes alone. It didn't go to one bad investment. It went, in small, convenient, almost invisible amounts, to monthly payments. Jeff Bezos drove a Honda Accord to work every day while building Amazon into a trillion-dollar company. He wasn't modest by accident. He understood something most people never learn, that a monthly payment isn't just a payment. It is a slow, invisible transfer of your future wealth to someone else. The wealthy don't just avoid monthly payments. They are obsessed with avoiding them. In this documentary, we are going to break down exactly why. 10 reasons. 10 psychological and financial principles that explain why the wealthiest people on earth treat monthly payments like poison. Reason number 1. Monthly payments are a wealth transfer machine. Here is the most important sentence you will hear today. When you make a monthly payment, you are not buying something. You are renting your own debt. Let's make this real. The average American carries a $6,500 credit card balance at 22% interest. If you pay only the minimum each month, you will spend 17 years paying it off and hand the bank over $9,000 in interest alone. You didn't buy $6,500 worth of stuff. You bought $15,500 worth of stuff and got $6,500 worth of stuff. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's longtime partner, called consumer debt one of the few ways an ordinary person can systematically destroy their own future. He said the mathematics of compounding work for you when you're investing and brutally against you when you're borrowing. Rich people know the math on both sides of the table. Monthly payments mean you are on the wrong side. Reason number 2. Monthly payments destroy your most valuable asset, cash flow. The wealthy don't think about net worth the way most people do. They think in cash flow. What comes in, what goes out, and what's left over to deploy. Every monthly payment you lock in is a permanent reduction in your monthly freedom. A $400 car payment, a $150 streaming and subscription stack, a $300 furniture installment, a $200 gym membership and meal kit combo. Before you know it, $1,200 a month, $14,400 a year is spoken for before you make a single choice. Mark Cuban has said it bluntly. The best investment you can make is paying off debt with high interest rates, because no investment reliably beats a guaranteed 20% return, which is exactly what eliminating a 20% interest obligation gives you. Cash flow is the oxygen of financial opportunity. Monthly payments slowly suffocate it. Reason number 3. They create psychological anchoring traps. Here is where the psychology gets fascinating. When you break a large purchase into small monthly payments, your brain stops evaluating the true cost. You start evaluating affordability instead. Behavioral economists call this payment decoupling. The pain of paying gets separated from the pleasure of consuming. A $40,000 car becomes just $700 a month. A $2,000 couch becomes only $89 a month. A $500 phone becomes basically free with the plan. You are no longer asking, "Can I afford this?" You're asking, "Can I fit this payment?" Those are two completely different questions, and only one of them leads to wealth. Wealthy individuals are trained, either through education or painful experience, to always convert back to the total cost. They think in lump sums. They think in trade-offs. They ask, what is the real price, and what am I giving up to have it? That mental habit alone separates how the wealthy see the world from how the rest of us see it. Reason number 4. Monthly payments lock you into lifestyle inflation. There is a trap that financial psychologists call the payment treadmill. Each time your income rises, Monthly payments rise with it. A raise at work becomes a justification for a better car, a bigger apartment, a newer phone. The payments grow, income is absorbed, and net worth stays flat. This is why studies consistently show that doctors, lawyers, and high-earning professionals can go bankrupt while people with average incomes build fortunes. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much of what you earn you keep. Thomas Stanley spent decades studying American millionaires for his book, The Millionaire Next Door. His most counterintuitive finding was that the majority of self-made millionaires drove used cars, lived in modest neighborhoods, and deliberately resisted the pull of monthly payment upgrades at every income level. They weren't depriving themselves. They were refusing to trade future wealth for present payments. Reason number 5. Monthly payments make you work for your things instead of having your things work for you. This is the core philosophy of asset-based thinking. Wealthy people don't just avoid liabilities, they convert every dollar possible into assets that generate returns. When you make a $500 monthly car payment, that $500 is dead money. It generates nothing, it compounds to nothing, it returns nothing. But what if you drove a paid-off used car and invested that $500 every month into an index fund for 20 years at a 10% average annual return? You would have over $380,000 from one car payment decision. This is the calculation rich people run constantly, not because they're obsessed with money, but because they understand that every dollar has a job. Monthly payments assign your dollars to work for someone else's wealth. Investing assigns them to work for yours. Reason number 6, the invisible payment trap. Here's something behavioral scientists have documented extensively. The human brain cannot feel a charge it doesn't see. And the entire architecture of modern subscription billing is engineered around that blind spot. When you swipe a credit card, research shows your brain registers a pain response. But a $14.99 charge that auto-processes on the 7th of every month? Almost nothing, no friction, no decision, no awareness. This is not an accident. Silicon Valley product teams call it passive revenue. Netflix, Spotify, every SaaS company in the world. They are specifically designed to avoid triggering your financial awareness system. The number of services is kept just low enough that you don't audit. The price is kept just high enough to be profitable. The cancellation process is kept just complicated enough that you don't bother. The result? Research by Chase Bank found that the average American underestimates their monthly subscription spending by 40%. Not 5%, not 10%, 40%. That gap, the money leaving your account that your brain has stopped registering, is exactly where passive wealth erosion lives. Wealthy people treat every recurring charge as a monthly vote. They ask, would I consciously choose to spend this today? If the answer is no, it goes. Not because the amount is large, because the habit of noticing is the habit that builds wealth. Reason number 7. Monthly payments eliminate your negotiating power. Here's a dynamic most people never consider. When you carry monthly payment obligations, you are negotiating from a position of need. You have to keep your job. You have to maintain your income. You can't afford to walk away. This affects everything: salary negotiations, business deals, career pivots, investment decisions. When you have no payments, you have options. Options are leverage. Leverage is power. Jeff Bezos spoke about this framing early in Amazon's history, that he made every major decision by asking whether it preserved optionality. The ability to change course, walk away, or pivot is worth more than any single deal. Financial pressure doesn't just hurt your bank account, it narrows your choices, shortens your thinking, and makes you easier to exploit in every negotiation you enter. The person who needs the deal always loses to the person who can walk away from it. Reason number 8. Monthly payments. Train your brain to normalize debt. Neuroscience tells us that the brain adapts to whatever environment it is regularly exposed to. When you live in a world of payments, debt becomes the default assumption. You stop imagining a paid-off life because a paid-off life stops feeling possible. This is one of the most profound psychological barriers to wealth building. The normalization of debt means people never question the system they're inside. They ask how to manage their debt, not how to eliminate it. They negotiate interest rates instead of refusing to borrow. First-generation wealthy people, those who built fortunes without inheriting them, almost universally describe a moment of mental rupture when they stopped accepting debt as normal and started treating it as an emergency. That mindset shift precedes the wealth. Always. The rich don't hate monthly payments because they're rich. Many of them became rich because they hated monthly payments first. Reason number 9. Monthly payments are opportunities you never see. Every dollar locked in a monthly payment is a dollar that cannot respond to opportunity. And the most important characteristic of great financial opportunities is that they arrive without warning and disappear quickly. Real estate deals, business investments, stock market dips, partnership opportunities. These windows open and close. The people who can move fast with capital available capture them. The people who are stretched thin with monthly obligations watch from the sideline. Warren Buffett keeps billions in cash reserves not because cash is a great investment. He knows it isn't. He keeps it because he wants to be ready when others are forced to sell. His ability to act quickly has generated more wealth than almost any specific stock pick he's ever made. Liquidity is not just a financial strategy. It is a readiness posture. Monthly payments chain you to the past. Liquidity lets you sprint into the future. Reason number 10. True wealth is freedom, and monthly payments are the opposite. In 2014, a man named Ronald Redd passed away in Brattleboro, Vermont. He had worked as a gas station attendant and a janitor for most of his life. He drove used cars. He wore a safety pin to hold his coat together when it frayed rather than buy a new one. He had no monthly payments, no debt, no financial obligations that weren't absolutely necessary. When his estate was settled, people were stunned. Ronald Redd left behind $8 million, most of it in blue-chip stocks he had held for decades. He never earned a high income. He never got an inheritance. He never started a business. He simply refused, with remarkable consistency, to let monthly payments claim his future. And then he let compounding do the rest. Financial freedom is not a number in your bank account. It is the absence of obligation. It is the morning you wake up and nothing is owed. No payment is coming. No creditor is waiting. Every dollar you have is yours to direct exactly as you choose. That is what wealthy people are actually protecting when they reject monthly payments. Not their money, their freedom. The cycle of wealth doesn't start with a high income. It starts with a decision. The decision that Ronald Redd made quietly every single month for decades. The decision to stop renting your future one payment at a time. 10 reasons, one truth. The wealthy don't just earn differently. They think differently. About debt, about cash flow, about freedom, and about what their money is supposed to do for them. A gas station attendant became an $8 million man, not through luck or genius, but through the relentless refusal to let payments steal his options. If this gave you a new way to see the monthly payments in your own life, consider which ones are really worth what they cost. Not just the number, but the freedom they're quietly taking from you.